The last time we did this was February something.
Wow.
Has anything happened since then?
No, it's pretty much status quo. All's the same. Same job, same life.
But you were, before we started the recording device, you had mentioned that the president has brought back the physical fitness requirement.
Yeah, it's something I still have nightmares about. I don't know if you remember this, if you're of a certain age. I think it was elementary school, because I remember doing it at Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. There was something called the presidential fitness test.
Right.
And it was something you had to do a certain number of sit-ups in a certain amount of time. And I don't know what happens if you do, you're not an American, or what the result is if you can't do it. But this was taken away for obvious reasons. Today, I saw on the news that our dear leader and some very fit-looking professional athletes were standing behind him. And he's announced now that they're reinstating the presidential fitness test. Now, when I first heard that, I had completely blocked that out. Mm-hmm. And I imagined all presidents would now have to take a fitness test like a fireman. And I'm like, wait a second, they can't do that. And then
especially with this one.
Right. I'm like, he can't even pass it. And then I saw Triple H, Paul Levesque, the chief content officer of the WWE, standing behind him. And I said, oh, I see. So,
why does it not surprise me that the professional wrestling folks support Trump?
Well, I mean, Linda McMahon, the former wife of Vince,
of course, right.
is the Secretary of Education, of course.
Are they not married anymore?
I've heard different things. I think the general consensus is they're doing their own thing.
Okay.
Which means Vince is running around and she's
running
in the
around
White House,
banging young women, and
she's going over education policy and how to read.
Right. I remember taking that physical fitness test, and as a short, fat, completely uncoordinated human being, it was always a source of dread. I remember you'd have to do a pull-up or two, and I would just hang there like an eggplant.
Pull-ups are impossible.
Yeah, completely impossible. I had no upper body strength. But meanwhile, there's these freaks of nature who are just ripping them off.
Yeah.
And then
there's always one kid in this school who could climb that rope all the way to the top. Always one.
Oh, the rope. Think
rope.
about the rope for a minute. Just let's consider the fact that you had all these uncoordinated kids climbing a rope or a pole 30 feet above a hard gym floor with a very thin mat put down.
And I say,
to break your fall.
Just enough rope to hang you with. Welcome to Recovery in the Middle Ages, the podcast about two middle-aged suburban dads in their pursuit of life, love, and recovery. I'm not X.
And I'm Mike R.
And boy, do we have a show for you today on RMA. The kratom crackdown. The feds come for my tragenine.
They come for that number 7 shit.
That's
my son's been ordering off the internet.
Does not
story to come.
Roll off the tongue. San Francisco's pivot from harm reduction to abstinence first. Are they joining the recovery Nazis, in AA with this stuff? And Glasgow opens the first UK legal drug consumption room. I feel like, where was that? Amsterdam? The original one? I think everything's... There was one.
Do we have one in Manhattan? I thought we did.
I think maybe. There was one that they were experimenting with. I think it was Manhattan. All this and more today on a very, very special reunion edition of RMA. And welcome to the show. Now, you've written this... I was going over the notes, which I thought was great. And Mike R. has written this long, hilarious, sarcastic intro. And I'm like, what are we going to do with this? We could read it.
I don't know, man. It's
pretty funny.
Yeah. So,
You want to narrate it?
Welcome to Recovery in the Middle Ages, the podcast for people who are Too old for keg stands, but still young enough to ruin their lives on a Tuesday night. If you're tired of hangovers that last 3 days, friends who mysteriously stop returning your texts, or wondering why your life feels like a recurring guest spot on Intervention, you're in the right place. At RMA, we don't do rose-colored sobriety. We're not here to hold hands in a circle and sing folk songs about inner peace, unless that's your thing, in which case, namaste. No, we're here to take a sledgehammer to the sacred cows of recovery. That's a mixed metaphor. A sledgehammer to the cow of recovery. Yeah. Dig through the BS and build something real, preferably without a side of shame, guilt, or unsolicited advice from your second cousin who totally gets it because she gave up wine for Lent once. I have a confession to make. I did not write this.
Oh, where did you? Is this AI?
This is AI.
Nice.
Our goal, I did write this one. Our goal is to help you make drugs and alcohol so irrelevant, so microscopic, that you could drown them in the bathtub and not even clog the drain. How about that?
I like.
Let's light this dumpster fire and see what rises from the ashes. Yeah, so fuck that.
I like it.
It's garbage. It's AI slop, we call that. But
I don't know. AI is getting better and better. It didn't help me keep my job, though.
Oh, that's what a great transition.
Did you see that?
Segue right into that.
I was using AI.
So let's set the stage here. When last we spoke to our dear listeners, you were the CEO of a IME company that was chugging along.
Yeah.
Doing its shtick here on Long Island, examining soft tissue injury patients and all that shit. And fast forward to today. And what's happening?
Well, 5 months hence, I had bad luck. One thing after the other. I don't even go into details. It's boring as hell, but it all added up to me barely, for the 5 months, barely able to make any money, struggling to every payroll. I had a big payroll and I couldn't cut, or I wouldn't cut, or I didn't have the balls to cut. And it got to a point where I had to get out. I decided that I was merely running this company to keep people employed. I was unhappy to the max. I still hadn't relapsed, and I wasn't, willing to find out if I would at some point. Mm-hmm. And that kind of work I would only do if I was really getting rich off of it or something. Like, it would have had to be really lucrative. And by the time I was thinking about this, I'm like, this is about when it was supposed to pay off. And I made a life decision. I said, I'm getting out. As hard as it is to let people go and tell them it's over, I'm like, well, look, I'm losing my job too. It's not all like I'm this rich guy closing a company.
Right.
I'm losing my income as well. And it's very messy to close a company like that. I had 5 offices and 20 employees and all these contractors, yada, yada. But I said, no mas.
No mas.
No mas. So I began to close the company, and that was one of the hardest things I've had to do. As I say every time on the show when I close a business.
Can I just say, though, I saw you a couple times during this period, and you were incredibly fucked up.
Yeah.
And I almost started wondering, like, if you had dipped.
Right.
I was like,
up.
You were fucked up. And, I wasn't never really quite sure how to discuss that with you. But it was on my mind. I was like, I wonder if he succumbed to that pressure, but I'm thrilled that you did not.
Luckily I didn't, but as you know, I still have been taking kratom since I got sober. So that'll come into this. I mean, I don't know if that's the reason I appeared fucked up. I think I was completely stressed and in another world.
I mean, we went out to dinner a couple times during this period, right? And which was great. It was good to see you guys. But we went to the French restaurant, I was like, that does not look like he's a happy camper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like you were kind of putting on a good face. But
how do I look today?
Today you look actually great.
Right?
I mean,
that's urea moisturizer. It's 40% urea.
Who's urea?
Urea. I just like to say it. It's a moisturizer. My father recommended me.
It's urine, basically.
Urea.
Yeah, urine.
Is that what it is?
Doesn't urea come from urine?
That's a great question, and I
Are you
don't
rubbing
wanna...
animal urine on your body?
No, it's a cream. Maybe there is urine in it. I didn't read the
It's the secret sauce.
It's supposed to be the best moisturizer you can get. So that's why I look so spry.
Okay. I mean, you sound a lot better than the last time I saw you.
Yeah, well, we did have a nice French dinner, but yeah, it was really hard on me. And then one of my clients, I started to put my resume together, which I think is decent. And I started to send it out. And then I got a call from one of my clients, a vendor, and he said, hey, why don't you come work for me? He took me out to lunch and be like a manager. It was pretty good money. I said, all right, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. So I immediately almost started at this new job. And when I got there, let me tell you, have you ever seen Severance?
Oh, yes.
It felt like Severance. When they read you a list of rules with HR at the beginning, you may not look at your phone.
What?
Okay, the entire day. And if you do, Tom is watching on the cameras. You will be taken care of, type of thing. It was a punch in, punch out job.
Oh, fuck that.
Ended up being hourly, which I was like, what? You're going to pay me hourly? And you had to sign in every day. And if you signed in at 9:01, they would dock you 15 minutes, right?
That sounds like a kind of job I had in high school.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was a whole office of people doing that. Adults, professionals. And you had a half an hour unpaid lunch, right? 15-minute paid break. So everybody put it together. You get 45 minutes to sort of decompress and come back. And then check out at 5:30.
What kind of business was this?
It was a vendor.
IME.
Yeah, but they worked specifically with law firms. It was all liability stuff. And let's see, in the last month, they were attacked by the Akira virus, which got Stanford, and it's a
cyber
it's attack. A ransomware attack virus. And I thought I was basically okay. We continued to work. They lost almost everything and had to restore it, blah, 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 blah. But the owner took this opportunity to let middle management go. Oh. That's what it looked like.
Is that where you were?
Yeah.
Middle management, you still had to punch a clock?
Yep. Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Everybody had to punch a clock. Like,
that's some control freak problems.
Yeah.
That guy clearly.
Because I asked around, and the other thing is, I would walk in there, and I'm personable. I try to be every morning. Good morning. And the entire, even after I knew
just
people,
bad vibes.
Just weird vibes. People seemed traumatized, or even in my department that I was training in. Weird. It was like a library. And everyone would whisper. I'm talking about 25, 30 people in this office. People are whispering.
So who the fuck got you this job?
The owner called me. He knew of my business. He knew me as a,
So what did so he hired you and then let you go like a few months later?
Yeah. He said it was the virus, but I think he never had a plan for what he wanted me to do.
Yeah, maybe that's
the discussion I had in my mind. I was going to be running the whole place, and someone was going to retire, and he was going to, teach me all of the things that go into running everything. But then it turned into he stuck me in one department the whole time. The secure virus hit. He was completely sidetracked, and then by the end of it, he was. I don't know. He thought I was a schlub or something. So I am at an amazing point in my life.
Okay.
I have an opportunity to find something or do something that I really love for the first time in my whole life. And I'm looking at this as a great opportunity. And Max is helping me find jobs. We're doing job searches.
What's he come up with for you?
Well, he thinks I should, do something in music. He's like, you should work at Sony Music. I'm like, okay. Like, you know anybody? But
I mean, why not? Right? I mean, you do have all that history.
Well,
except of course it's hard to make money in music. That's the
It
issue.
is. So it would be some corporate music job. But
Yeah.
we're going through it together, and I'm just trying to keep a positive outlook. We're going to Europe,
Nice.
incidentally, and my father thinks I'm crazy, since I just lost my job.
That's the best time to go to Europe because you
Yeah.
don't have to be back on a certain day.
Exactly. He's like, don't you think you should be more frugal? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do.
You can't put a price on mental health.
No. So we're going to go to London and then Paris.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's been what's going on with me. Now, I think what
You also dropped a little, what's it, foreshadowing or something about kratom in there.
Yeah.
So were you relying on kratom to get you through this difficult period? And did your kratom use increase to the point where you started becoming concerned?
So my kratom use started when I was in outpatient rehab,
Right.
maybe 6 years ago or 7. And it's fluctuated over the time. I don't think it increased dramatically, because I spend a certain amount of money.
You have your kratom budget and you don't exceed it?
I don't exceed it.
Okay.
And I guess maybe I'm not sober. Maybe I've never been sober. I was just
This
thinking
whole time.
But I don't know if I would have gotten through recovering from heroin addiction if I didn't have kratom.
Yeah.
It really, so maybe this was my cheap medicated assisted way of getting out of heroin addiction, but I never dropped that habit.
Where's kratom from? Where did it come from?
I forget the country. It's weird.
Is it African?
No, it's an East Asian country.
Charlie would know.
Yeah, where the kratom tree grows.
The kratom tree.
But it does scare me, because I know that it can be difficult to stop using.
Yes.
Mostly because I haven't tried.
Right.
And when I don't have it, I get it. I always think it's psychological. I never wait long enough to, have whatever symptoms come up.
So are you bringing kratom to Europe?
I can't bring kratom to Europe because it is illegal.
That will be a good test then.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that, are you?
No, I'm like, okay. So I'm going to try and wean off, which sounds like a drug.
Well, it'd be like if coffee was illegal in Europe, God forbid.
So I'm gonna, wean off and stop, hopefully in the next week or two.
Okay. When are you going?
The 12th of August.
Okay. All right. Kratom, it's interesting that it's in the news because of the ban that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
I'm a little surprised.
It's in my personal news as well because
You like drugs?
Well, I dabble. No, I follow along with the drug news. It's an old habit. But speaking of old habits, my oldest son, is having a bit of a time these days with, he got into a bit of trouble with those benzos that he had been prescribed for his anxiety disorder.
Right.
And he started using them off-label and then procuring additional ones.
Well, he was really anxious. What do you want?
He actually came home from school in March. He called up and was like, I got to get out of here. So we picked him up and brought him home, and then he proceeded to spend the next, 4 or 5 months up in his room, like just drinking and apparently using benzos and everything. And he couldn't really hold a job and stuff. And so a few weeks ago, he kind of popped down into the living room. We were hanging out. It was like, I am addicted to benzos. I don't have any more benzos, and now I'm gonna die of withdrawal. We're like, nice to see you, son. How you been? So I'm like, well, fuck. That's kind of unfortunate.
Scary.
So, we're not the kind of people that are gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
And I think he knows that.
Us, right?
He knows you have a show about it. He knows you've been through it. So that made it easier, I think, for him to talk to you.
Yeah. At times, though, when he has listened to older episodes, I've come to find out. And so he kind of throws some stuff back at me every once in a while,
Ammunition.
Yeah. But anyway, so we kind of were unsure what to do because he was like, I I think I should go to rehab. And we're like, okay, that's not something we'd ever heard him say. So I was a little kind of taken aback. I wasn't sure what to do. I know I didn't want him to go to like a regular sort of Synanon based Phoenix House kind of thing. No. It's just that's not the vibe that we have here. And I'm not being an elitist douchebag, although I guess I am a little bit, but that just wasn't the environment. I didn't think that environment would help because he has all these concomitant mental health issues that are sort of along for the ride. So I actually reached out to Evan Haynes from Oral Recovery.
I love that
Remember
guy.
Evan?
Loved his book.
Because, his book and his whole approach of unconditional positive regard for people who are suffering and, non-12-step based. And I said, hey, Evan, it's been 3 years since you appeared on Recovery in the Middle Ages. How you been?
How you been?
By the way, So I said, listen, do you know anybody that follows sort of the oral recovery philosophy over here on the East Coast? Because I don't think my insurance is going to cover a month in Malibu for my son. Although, as it turns out,
it did.
It might have.
Wow.
We have very good insurance, but so he was away on vacation. But he was like, "Let me check your insurance stuff," because I filled out the form at Oral Recovery. Because I was like, "Fucking equine therapy."
You can brush a horse and get sober.
Yeah, one of those pool, like what do they call those pools? It's a limitless horizon pool.
The endless pool.
Yeah. And I'm looking at all these people like doing yoga and stuff, and I'm like, man, I want to go there. Like, can I just maybe I'll start doing drugs so I can go to Oral Recovery for 30 days. And by the way, I'm not advertising Oral Recovery. I happen to think that they do a great job. But so in a weird sort of full circle thing, he gets back to me and he's like, who you should speak to? You should reach out to my friend Dave. He has a podcast called Dopey. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've heard of that guy. So I sent Dave a text. I was like, hey, and Dave got right back to me, said he knows a guy.
He's great with that
He's
stuff.
got a place, that he and Chris went to. This place up in Connecticut called Mountainside.
Mountainside.
And
where Dopey was born.
He put me in touch with one of their, admissions recruiters, marketers, whatever you call those guys who are like, sure, we do everything. Come right now.
Yeah.
And what's your insurance anyway? Anyway, he was a very nice guy, John, and he kind of got us, ran the insurance, it covered everything and da-da-da. And within 24 hours, I'm driving up to Canaan, Connecticut.
Wow.
And so that's currently where Dimitri's spending the rest of his summer vacation. So I owe Dave a solid, that was a great thing. He spoke to me on the phone, I called him on the phone.
Great. I mean,
and he was on vacation too. Like everybody, I guess everybody in recovery goes on vacation the third week of July.
I think so. Yeah. I think that's the date.
So he's doing okay. He loved detox more because he was still getting Valium.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best part.
Not as much fun over in residential because it's, then you got to start doing the work and stuff. But we have a lot of tension with this because he's getting out and he's got to go back to school because everything's paid for. And it's like, and this is the weird thing about recovery, man, nowadays with kids, whatever. Well, first of all, I'm like, what are you doing all day? Like, because his like counselor's like, well, he's not really attending a lot of the group stuff, but he loves the NA meetings. I'm like, okay. He's like, I play cornhole with 50-year-old alcoholics. That's all I'm doing up here. So I'm like, well, you got to engage with the program, But anyway, he's like, well, it's ridiculous. I'm 20 years old. It's not like I'm never going to have a beer again. He's like, I'm here to get off benzos. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking maybe he needs a couple more weeks to kind of get the program written. But he told that to his clinician, and he said she agreed with him that, it's kind of ridiculous to expect somebody your age to like just cold turkey it for the rest of their lives. And I'm like, is this a new approach to recovery that we have here in America?
Yeah, that's too logical for recovery. But I mean,
I get it. That
the truth is, if you got a problem, you sort of have to do that. You have to go all the way.
I mean, I think so, but like, even I was saw something that, and I tried to look into this and I couldn't find anything on it. But Liz, you remember Queen Liz of the Monksterverse? She posted something on, I don't know if it was the Discord or the Facebook group, that smart recovery is now not completely abstinence-based. Like they have accepted moderation. And I'm like, well, is that the way this is going now? Like, are we just, I guess you have to define recovery for yourself.
Yeah.
But, and I'm not an AA guy, but I know what they would say in AA. If I said I'm going to define recovery for myself, it would be like, well, you're like the last person that should define what recovery should be, because, you tried to define what addiction was, and that didn't work out so well.
I'd say, think of the decisions you've made over the past, 2 years. Is that the brain you want running your recovery?
And then, so somebody else posted on the Facebook group, because I was asking like what people thought was the most significant issues in recovery in the first half of 2025, and someone commented, well, what about the whole California sober thing, and what's that all about? And I'm thinking, like, there is a generation now that's coming up that is defining sobriety or recovery in a non-abstinent way.
Yeah.
And as somebody that, I know myself well enough to know that, if I give myself too much wiggle room,
yeah, me too,
it's just not going to end well.
Yeah.
Like I could smoke pot, fine, whatever. I just don't want to, because I kind of like the state of clarity that I'm in now. And to me, like, that's the end goal of recovery, is like getting to the place. It's sort of like 1984, Winston Smith. Like you finally love Big Brother. It's kind of like I'm at the place where, like, my brain has been completely washed to the point where I prefer to be sober. Yeah. I don't even want to be fucked up.
Yeah. I have no desire with to have the pot or even beer. There's like beer
pot.
all
I don't
over.
want the pot.
I don't want the pot. There's alcohol all over my house. We've been having these barbecues, and
nice new deck, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't even think twice about it. Like, I don't want it. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, but I look at like these. I look at all these groups, like the Stop Drinking subreddit and all these other places, and people are so wrapped up in this struggle with like wanting but not having.
Yeah,
and like, to me, like, if your recovery, at least out of the gate, is not abstinence based for, let's say, 6 months or a year, like, you're never going to get beyond the state of wanting and not having.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a state of deprivation, not a state of abundance, which is what recovery should be. You should feel like you're so fulfilled that alcohol or drugs doesn't even enter into it. It'll screw up the equation.
Yeah.
So if you're always like, well, I can smoke a joint before bed, and I guess you could equate it with, I'm taking melatonin, but it really isn't the same thing.
Yeah, melatonin. I've never popped a couple melatonins and listened to Dark Side of the Moon.
No.
But anyway, so I hope this works out for him. And it's funny, as a parent, you really want to be able to do something.
Yeah.
But this like stuck with me a couple of years ago. I remember listening to Danny Trejo, the Machete guy. Look, he's been sober for 50 plus years, but his kid had a lot of problems.
He was on dopey too.
Was he?
Him and his kid.
Okay. Yeah. But his sort of, maybe that's where I'm taking this from then. But I remember him saying, like, he's just like, well, when he's ready, he'll stop. It's not like he could lock him in a room or threaten him or do anything.
Force it.
Because you can't.
The harder you force it, the harder it gets.
But I do think you need to, like, have an open door, and you need to be, like, available for your kids so that they feel comfortable enough to come to you with the problems.
Yeah, and the fact that he did, it speaks volumes.
It does. And I tell you, that's a beautiful place, Mountainside. They have floor-to-ceiling window. It's like a ski lodge in Aspen.
Oh, really?
It's beautiful. God. It's the bougiest fucking recovery place.
Maybe I can go to get off of kratom.
Do you think you need a 30-day stint to get off kratom?
I don't think so. I'll let you know at the end of this 2 weeks.
So the
the
kratom angle was, so he's up in Mountainside, Dimitri. He's chilling out up there, and we get a package in the mail. and we open it up, and it's this kratom derivative. It's not even kratom, this shit. This 7-hydroxymitragine. I'm going to call it mitragynine. Is that what it is?
That's what I call it.
7-hydroxymitragynine. Is that how you say that?
I've seen that in the stores. I don't know what it is.
I'm just going to call it 7-hydroxy. And when we were up there visiting him last week, he was like, that shit. And this is really weird because what we're going to talk about happened like 3 days later. He was like, they should make that shit illegal. It's actually like a legal opioid. It's basically the same thing as a Percocet. And he's like, there's no reason that stuff should be sold in gas stations and head shops and smoke shops and everything. And I'm like, well, that's very perceptive. And then literally 2 days later,
it came in the mail.
There was an announcement, which maybe we roll into that now.
Yeah. So let's roll into that 7. So that's different from like leaf kratom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's sort of like, how that, what's that stuff that they make out of weed now? It's like,
Crackle. No, that's a dessert.
Crackle.
I'm thinking
it's a candy bar with Rice Krispies in it. I don't know. You make it with butane. Butane. You take the weed,
shatter, and then they zap it. I'm just making up words.
Oh, and then it's like
they concentrate it. You can tell
it's a concentrate.
Been drug addict in a long time.
I know. It's a concentrate, and
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the slang for it.
Me either. But anyway, like I guess that is to weed what this is to kratom, right? Yes.
I'm just trying to
dead air. So I get home from Mountainside, and then 2 days later, I'm looking at push notifications from the New York Times. It says that the DEA and the FDA are working together to regulate 7-hydroxymitragynine, 7-OH. Let's call it that, 7-OH.
7-OH, that's the cool way to call it.
So that's a potent metabolite found in kratom, often described as legal morphine. The concern, while kratom has long been controversial, 7-O has now caught the government's attention due to its opioid-like effects, even though it naturally occurs in tiny amounts. So very weird stuff, but you don't take 7-O, do you?
No, that's a new thing. I just take I actually take it with a kava.
Kava is like another...
Yeah.
One of those things.
Yeah, so I've been, kava and I used to take those shots of kratom, but I had since moved more to the natural leaf drink. But I don't want to do it, I mean, I think it was helping me, and if it's still stopping me from going back out, I've got to do some more work in my mind,
Yeah.
But it's just something that's become a part of my daily regimen ever since I got sober.
Well, you're not running out to smoke shops and buying 7-O, though, right?
No, I've seen that, and they tried to sell it to me. It's in pills, and I don't know. It just didn't appeal to me.
Our esteemed health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., announced last Tuesday a plan to restrict access to this stuff. It's available online. It's available in vape stores, and it's used by millions of Americans to alleviate pain, psychic pain, physical pain, all kinds of pain. So I guess manufacturers isolated and amplified a compound that already existed in kratom to make a more potent product, and it binds to opioid receptors in the brain. And the FDA is going to begin the process to schedule 7-O and they're looking to put it as Schedule 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
So buy what you can now, guys.
go load up.
I'm running to the vape shop.
I bet you the price is going to go through the roof for a while.
I think I understand what it is, though. I was always told or researched that kratom is not an opiate, but it does have a part of it that binds to an opioid receptor, which gives you a slight feeling of that. But this sounds like they found out how to make it just the opioid receptor drug. And wow.
Yeah.
Science. Am I right?
Well, I guess you'd call this a research chemical that kind of escaped the lab and just became very popular because it is basically an
It's
opioid.
the good part of kratom. I guess. The part that everyone's looking for when they're drinking 70 grams a day of it.
So there's a fellow named Mac Haddo who's quoted in the Times article. He's a senior fellow on public policy for the American Kratom Association. Do you have do you belong?
I do
to
not
the American
belong.
Kratom Association. That represents that organization represents makers of botanical kratom, he said that his group has been sounding the alarm about 7.0 since it arrived on the market. Mr. Haddo said you can get addicted to 7.0 in a couple of days, and it's a horrible situation to get off of it.
Wow.
Yeah. The FDA, and this is part of a larger problem that's been popping up with unauthorized products in smoke shops and gas stations. Last summer, do you remember 160 people got sick from eating something called Diamond Shrooms candy bars?
I don't.
It contained an array of unauthorized ingredients, some of which had psychedelic properties. People who ate them had seizures, loss of consciousness, and hallucinations.
Yikes.
And tianepine products known as gas station heroin is also something that they're looking at. But these drug manufacturers can always stay one step ahead because all they have to do is change a molecule.
Yeah, they have these scientists. I watched this awesome documentary on the father of research chemicals. I wish I could remember the name of it. And he's the guy that started the whole movement. He's like this scientist, and he was talking about how it's that easy for them when they have the right equipment to move a molecule, add something that, they could basically sell. A lot of that got shut down, though.
Did it?
The stuff that was exactly like morphine or exactly like acid. I think they changed the law where, alternatives of certain molecules were still illegal. But yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I think they're just having a hard time keeping up. I mean, I know Dimitri also ordered something online that came literally right after he had run out of his regular benzos. He ordered this thing online it came in a jar and it was like a little liquid.
Oh boy.
And he took like a drop of it and he was like out for 12 hours.
Wow.
And I did some research on that stuff, and I don't want to name it. I don't even remember the name, but I took the rest of it and poured it down the sink, being careful not to touch it.
Yeah, right to the water supply. Great.
Oh, geez.
Thanks.
Sorry. Well,
Appreciate
what am I supposed to do with it?
Kill all the fish or make them happy.
Fish need to relax. They're a little stressed. And he basically told me that's what that was. It was a molecule off from Xanax or whatever.
Yeah.
So this shit is out there. I mean, we never had to really contend with these kind of things. I mean, we just had your regular old drugs.
Yeah.
The good old, Quaaludes and, well, that's...
Quaaludes. Was that at Studio 54 when you were just dancing?
I had a Quaalude once.
What's it like?
It just made me feel like I was hit in the head with a hammer.
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, it was like being very, very drunk without
like 3
drinking.
shots of tequila.
Yep.
Quickly.
I took it and I sat and watched a movie, and I don't do down.
Yeah.
I'm not a down guy.
You're an upper?
I'm an upper. Yeah. So anyway, that's Kratom.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Kratom.
all those out there who know more about Kratom than us will reach out to us with corrections.
Yeah, and I'll let you know
looking at
how
you.
my wiener off goes.
Your wiener off. What?
My wiener off. I'm reassigning
You're
myself.
wienering off Kratom.
Yeah, because I...
Flush it. Flush your Kratom.
It's going out. I have to get off of it. I have to get comfortable with not taking it.
So, speaking of toilets, I'm...
You ready for a break?
No.
Oh,
I was going to talk about a Japanese toilet that I was thinking of getting.
What?
So we had some work done in the house. Like you, we did the front and the back, or the back porch or whatever. What is that noise?
Yeah, you
is
did
that the toilet still? Wow. It's a long
It's still
flush.
going. And
It's a long flush. And, so the work guy, the guy we hired to do the work, he also does like light electrical work. So, And we were big fans. By we, I mean me and my son Jack are big fans of the bidet, as opposed to toilet paper. And
Say it loud and proud, honey.
There's a whole bunch of reasons why a bidet is better for you than rubbing your ass with sandpaper.
Feels good.
Yeah. Well, it cleans you out way better than toilet paper ever. I mean, take a piece of shit and rub it on your arm. Now rub it off with paper. What does it do? Does it actually get the shit off?
I'd rather have a bidet.
It doesn't.
And I am going to Europe, so maybe I can test some out.
There you go. While you're getting off kratom, you can acquaint yourself with the bidet.
Nice.
Because isn't kratom, like, if it's an opioid, doesn't it make you constipated?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're going to need some extra attention
out
to the rear entry.
Yeah.
Right?
Things are going to be blowing out.
Anyway, so we had the bathroom redone a couple of years ago. They took the outlet away from near the toilet because who needs an outlet near the toilet? Well, apparently if you want a fancy Japanese bidet seat or toilet, those need electricity to warm the water that you shoot up your asshole.
What's the brand that's famous? Tojo or...
Tojo, wasn't he the Japanese military commander?
Yeah. What is the name of the famous brand that everybody buys? They're like the Nike of Japanese toilets.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll think of it.
So anyway, so he installs the outlet incorrectly. Have to have him come back because he hooked it up to a light switch. But anyway, but I think we're going to get like a Japanese toilet because when you go into the bathroom at night, it'll raise the lid for you. Play a little song.
Oh my god!
And then if you're doing
you make it poopy. Very good, sir.
And if you're going number 2, it will spray you with warm water.
Okay.
Your asshole.
It knows.
And then there's a dryer, like a hair dryer that dries you. There was a South Park episode recently that goes through the whole thing. So I encourage you to go and watch the South Park episode on Japanese toilets. Randy gets one. It's a fucking hoot. But Aaron sent me this thing yesterday, and I don't know if this is AI or if this actually exists, but I'm going to do more research. Apparently there's one where as you're taking a dump, as it's falling into the bowl, it shoots a laser through it and analyzes it.
Shut up.
It tells you like if you're eating right or what you're, all this kind of stuff. And it sends you a full report on your phone.
Wow.
Now, do you think that that's real? I can't imagine that thing actually exists.
It sounds like something from the secret space program, honestly, that a whistleblower is talking about. I don't think that's real. I
thought you were going to say a secret space probe.
Secret space probe.
Wow. I would like that to be real because as a hypochondriac, I would love to know like the condition of my shit every day before I go about my business.
But I think there's a better chance that if that does exist, it's not a laser that analyzes it.
No.
Once it drops and
maybe something about the density.
Maybe they can measure it.
I don't know. So I guess bringing it back to kratom, do you think this is a necessary public safety move, or is this just a case of the government playing whack-a-mole with, different kinds of chemicals and stuff?
I think it's a whack-a-mole. I'm not against banning things that are harmful, especially something like that seems to be geared specifically towards getting high and addicting you. They've taken something beautiful and natural like kratom, the kratom leaf drink.
Beautiful and natural.
And they have, whittled it down to its base form, and it doesn't sound good. I don't know. Should the government be spending its time doing stuff like that with everything else going on? I mean, if I wanted to distract people from what was really happening, maybe I would make announcements like that,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's kind of a very specific announcement targeted to a small subset of people who are buying this shit. So I don't know how much that's going to distract from the Epstein files.
No.
But I guess the larger question is whether stuff like this helps or hurts people in recovery who use non-traditional methods like you or like whoever.
Yeah, would I have just been on Suboxone longer? I mean, and who does that help? The people who make Suboxone.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess hopefully it's just targeted at the 7.0 and not at the leaf stuff as well, right? Because there's a lot of people there are people that use that for athletic recovery. Did you know that?
It's I have seen that. It's a non-opioid pain reliever, basically. I mean, it really technically is not an opioid. It doesn't have the same effects. I guess when you isolate it like that, maybe it does. But I've heard that it's for pain relief and inflammation anti-inflammatory. But it can be, like many things, abused and addicted to.
Before the 7-0 he was ordering, Dimitri was taking just your regular old kratom, I think, and said it has very positive effects on his attention, like for ADHD.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
Which, that's interesting, I thought.
It can focus you.
And I'm sure right around the corner, some pharmaceutical company is going to take it and synthesize it, make it into a drug, and then sell it to us for an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Thereby making some...
Charge my insurance company.
Right. Did you want to take a break and come back after a few words, or...
I can go another one.
Okay, let's do another one.
The Japanese toilet.
It's not a Japanese toilet yet, my friend.
Okay.
I don't even have a bidet up here.
I am trying it out the minute you get...
Well, maybe you're not. I don't know.
I got to try out your new Japanese toilet.
So San Francisco's been in the news for a couple of reasons lately. The main reason San Francisco has been in the news is that the Grateful Dead 60th anniversary celebration with Dead & Company playing in Golden Gate Park this weekend has attracted deadheads from all over the United States who are filtering into town. So I assume the dispensaries are going to be very busy, and the drug dealers are going to be making out like bandits.
Yep.
Which is interesting because San Francisco has recently decided to pivot from harm reduction to abstinence first. After years of leading the harm reduction movement with open-air clinics, needle exchanges, and naloxone saturation, San Francisco is reportedly shifting towards a recovery-first model that prioritizes abstinence-based treatment. The city is being pressured to clean up public drug use and encampments, and this policy reflects growing political will for tougher stances. So what do we think about this? What do we think about getting away from the harm reduction movement to a more punitive method of dealing with the drug?
Sadly, I think they're doing it because the way they were doing it wasn't working. If it were, they wouldn't be changing, I think. Right? Like, I guess that really wasn't doing the trick. And when you have a system whose baseline is, we're going to do harm reduction, you can still keep using. It's sort of giving it sort of like it's okay to do a little. That's what the people might take it to mean, especially an addict. I know for myself, if I went to rehab and they're like, okay, you can do a little bit of heroin, it's okay. We're just going to let you have a baseline. I don't know that I would ever get off of it, and it didn't appear. I don't know if you can blame the homeless encampments on the recovery stance, though. That seems like a bridge too far. I don't know.
I think you need to separate the whole homelessness issue from the drug issue, right? I think not everybody who's homeless has a drug problem. Maybe people develop drug problems when they became homeless to cope with very difficult
it's a bit of a conflation of issues.
Situations. But, I think the problem, San Francisco looked north to Portland and saw what happened up there.
Yeah, which sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, and decided that was not the way to do it. But, the issue in Portland may not have been so much the decriminalization of drug use as the lack of any follow-up funds to handle the treatment aspect of the law passing up there. Was it Prop 109, I think it was called? So I don't know, how much San Francisco was spending money on getting people into abstinence-based treatment. Maybe they weren't spending any money at all, but you do run the risk of alienating people who are not ready for abstinence. You potentially drive them further into the margins.
Yeah.
New York, had set up some safe use sites in the Bronx, I think, and just it was very clear that it saved lives, if not pushed more people into treatment. And, what is the goal of harm reduction generally? Is it to get people abstinent, or is it to get people not dying?
Not dying. From what I can tell, it's to, keep people from dying. And that was the more important thing. The one thing I would worry about is the things I saw in addicts that went to drug court in New York seemed really like it was doing more harm than good. It was like, instead of harm reduction, it was like creating harm, because these guys are trying to be abstinent, and they would get a certain, level of the program to get out. They would slip up once and they'd have to go back to the beginning. I mean, I think with the judicious implementation that's fair and humanizing rather than dehumanizing, it could be the best way to do it. But I don't know if that's possible.
I mean, if your goal is just to keep people alive day to day, I guess harm reduction is fine. But if you're trying to focus on long-term outcomes, how do you get people who have a comfortable space to use in or whatever? How do you transition people from that to a more abstinent-based lifestyle? Because, like you said, if you keep giving people stuff, like where's the pain point? Where's the pressure point?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can't pressure people. Didn't we just have that discussion like a half hour ago? You can't pressure people into wanting to quit. But if your life is in such a fucking mess that you don't see any point in getting abstinent, it's not like any pressure from outside is going to do it for you. I mean, and then I guess you have to ask the question whether harm reduction and abstinence are actually incompatible. I mean, are there ways to do both?
Right. Take it case by case. I I know it's almost impossible, but with a lot of things, I think everybody is different. It's hard to have a one way of doing everything, but when you're dealing with millions and millions of people, doing a case by case situation it's almost impossible, I think. So you have to pick a one way, and then hope you get a good judge in drug court.
I guess. I mean,
I don't know.
Is it ethical though to tie housing and treatment access to abstinence? I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, but is it? Maybe.
I mean, people who test positive. I mean, there won't be anything such thing as California sober anymore. Like if you test positive for weed, then you don't get housing. Is that
how that works?
I don't know the parameters exactly.
Yeah, I guess if it's the whole entire. What, the state of California or just San Francisco? San Francisco. So if you're in San Francisco, you're out of luck if you test positive for anything. Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Seems like a lot.
Right? I mean, I don't know. I'm a big proponent of harm reduction, but I want there to be something after that. I want there to be something after harm reduction. I want there to be a pathway, and I want there to be funding for that pathway.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing.
I don't want you to just say, go to AA meetings and NA meetings and, that's your program and piss clean, or else, you can stay in your tent,
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, and I think they just don't know what to do. And incidentally, that just made me think of Happy Gilmore 2, available now on Netflix. No, we're not getting paid for that. Interestingly, Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam Sandler, it's about him. A lot of it is about him getting sober, which is really interesting.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a huge... You got to watch it just for that, because he goes to what he thinks is an AA meeting, but it's not. It's this criminal, they call it, he's like, we don't call each other alcoholics, it's alkies, and it's Ben Stiller, of course, is leading the group.
Of course, yeah.
And he sort of exaggerates some of the things we hate about AA in that, so I don't know if Adam Sandler went through that or something like that, and he's sort of taking a shot at them. I won't tell you what happens at the end, but what he wasn't doing was ethical. Ben Stiller.
It was not ethical.
It was not ethical, but you do see Adam Sandler's or Happy Gilmore's fight with alcoholism throughout the movie. And until he gets completely sober and they're celebrating him, he's got his 30-day chip. It's pretty interesting that it's throughout the movie. So take
Happy Gilmore too, everybody.
Yeah, it's funny. We watched it with the family.
Is it on Netflix?
Yep.
Okay. I think we could skip over Scotland opening the UK's first legal drug consumption room because that's kind of fits in with the with
harm reduction.
Harm reduction. And what's interesting is that the only thing I'll say about that is that it seems like UK is going the opposite direction from the United States, because in the UK, it sort of represents a pretty radical cultural shift because harm reduction there faced a lot of political resistance. But here we seem to be,
It's weird because I think of Europe to be so liberal and, the opposite of the puritanical, foundings of America. But really, this is a big deal for them to have the harm reduction or to have a place where you can shoot up legally.
Well, I mean, I don't think the UK is as liberal as some of the rest of Europe when it comes to drug policy, but not really my area of expertise.
Amsterdam.
So, but an interesting story that also came up in the first half of this year is New York's overdose death rate, which apparently dropped 32% in 1 year, which sort of mirrors the national decline of like 24% in 1 year, which
that's great.
Grant mentioned on a posting on the Facebook group the other day. So New York State reported a stunning 32% drop in opioid overdose deaths in 2024, the biggest decline in decades. The state credits expanded naloxone access, jail-based treatment programs, drug checking strips, and new recovery court models. Why didn't the state credit safe consumption sites? Why didn't the state credit, needle exchanges? It's very interesting, the things that the state credited versus the things that it did not.
Convenient.
Yeah. It's one of the first large-scale success stories, though, that really shows how public health strategies can work even without total abstinence, right?
Yeah.
So, if you have political will, if you have funding and you have multi-agency cooperation, maybe you can make some progress. Or conversely, none of that shit had anything to do with it, and it's just like a cyclical thing with opioids.
Yeah, people
availability.
Don't want to die.
People know that fentanyl is poison.
Yeah, it kills you now. You don't get to experiment and have a life experience. You get to die on your first time.
I mean, I would like to see what the statistics are for Pennsylvania, for example, and see if there's a similar drop or some other states. But what's going to happen in 2025? Who knows?
Yeah, it's good to hear, though. You don't ever like to hear of people passing away. Sad news recently from the Dopey podcast. A guy I actually worked with when I was working on the marketing team, DJ Rents. Don Rents passed away. I got to know him, over the phone and texting, and I met him a couple of times at Dopey Cons, and he had struggled with addiction, as many of the Dopey nation has, and it had seemed like like many who die of drugs. But you know what? I don't actually know that it was drugs. I don't know the cause of his death. He's very young, sort of assuming it, but sad to see DJ go. So people are still dying. That nobody should be dying of this stuff. It's crazy, but fentanyl's a killer. You can't, it's just poison. That's what I tell my boys.
Yeah.
You can't experiment with this stuff.
Well, Dimitri thinks there should be death penalty for fentanyl dealers. What do you think?
I think, don't they do that in Venezuela?
He said the countries where they have a zero tolerance for any kind of drug dealing, like Singapore, places like that, have very low drug addiction rates and almost no drug dealing.
Yeah, I guess anything you put a death penalty to would reduce how much of it you have. So.
I mean, theft is low in Saudi Arabia too, but do you want to model your society after those places?
Yeah, like littering's bad. Are we going to have a death penalty to littering?
I think just lashing for littering. I think you just get tied to
Singapore,
a post and
you
lashed.
Get caned.
Yeah. Ooh, what was that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I guess we may as well just push through, right?
Yeah, push on through. This is our first episode in some time. I don't know who's going to listen to this.
It's at least 6 people.
But if you are listening, thank you.
Yeah.
This is therapeutic for us.
So the only other thing I got is apparently things are getting a little saucy over there in India.
Oh, wow. 1,300% increase in drug treatment admissions in Hyderabad, India, and Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences saw a 1,300% increase in patients seeking drug treatment over the past 5 years, most of it happening post-2020. Substances like cannabis, cocaine, and synthetic drugs are now widespread amongst younger populations. Well, it could be two things. It could be that there's just more drugs or that people are more comfortable seeking treatment, or both.
I think with the American market, maybe it's saturated, and maybe with the controls on the border and with, China maybe being a little less aggressive about pushing drugs in this country. They're looking for new markets, and India certainly is a lot closer.
Yeah.
So, I'm just spitballing here, but maybe they decided to flood new markets with this stuff. But it is interesting that the treatment admissions, not only are people getting addicted, but they're also seeking help.
Yeah. It's not 1,300% increase in deaths. It's a 13% increase in people seeking help, which I guess you could read that a couple of different ways. I mean, it seems it's good, like you said, that they're looking for help, which means that there's a good awareness that you can get help.
Right.
And you won't be, because you think of it or I thought of Indians as having a very traditional society, only because in Little India in Hicksville, which is on the island, I used to live there, you see the traditions plastered all over the place, as far as the traditional women's clothing stores. And, you get this sense that they do stick to their traditions. And so if drug use is traditionally a major taboo, you might think that they would be less inclined to seek treatment, but that's a lot of assumptions by me. So I'm not really sure about that, but it is a good sign that not only are they seeking it, but hopefully that they have the facilities. I'm sure someone's making money off of that.
Yeah. There's always been a lot of cannabis in India and hash and stuff.
Hashish?
Yeah. I'm just wondering, what sort of treatment is offered in India? Are they a 12-step based treatment?
Yeah, I mean, is it just for the very rich, or are we talking a 1,300% increase in rich people? And the people in India who are rich are rich. Yeah. Or is this regular everyday people?
I mean, I'm assuming they use the same stuff that we use here: medically assisted treatment, behavioral therapies, holistic approaches. I think access to care is probably a huge issue there. It's an extremely poor country.
Yeah. Do they have insurance and medical insurance like we do here? Does the state pay for anything? I don't know.
I don't know.
I know nothing.
Why are we even talking about it if we don't know?
It's fun.
We didn't do any fucking research. We didn't do shit. Just pulled some headlines.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the news.
Yeah.
That's the news. But hopefully they are getting better.
Who, the Indians?
Yeah, I like them. They're an industrious people.
Yes.
Very
I
nice.
agree. So it's been kind of a wild, 6 months that we've been cresting on here. I mean, we had a whole bunch of other shit going on at home. Like, Aaron's brother was kind of losing his shit too at the same time. And,
Oh, really?
I've spoken about him in the past. He is like, it's like an eating thing, and he's got this. He's sort of was sort of a hoarder as well, and that kind of came to a head, and we had to go and sort of clean out his house and all this stuff, and that happened around the same time that Dimitri was. So it's kind of crazy, and I got a promotion at work, so things are like more.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, more busy in that arena. So it's just been very, and then the thing is, it's all good, right? Because the problems that you had when you were, drinking or have a drug problem
How am I going to get money
very
for the
small
fix?
problems, right? And so when you get sober, your problems don't go away; they turn into other problems, and there can be bigger problems. But but you're much better equipped to deal with the bigger problems if you have a clear head about you.
Yeah. When I was
perspective, you have some perspective.
You have perspective, and people rely on you. That's the other thing.
That's right.
When I was using, it was, how am I going to get enough money to get the next fix? Nobody in my life at some point, relied on me for anything because they knew better.
Yeah.
And now, I'm relied
now everybody
on.
relies on you for everything.
Right. And I've got to, and that's a lot of stress. And I fail quite a bit, and I'm trying to do better. And man, I need a job, guys. Anybody hiring out there?
For real, right?
Yeah.
I mean, give Nat a job.
Please.
We'll start a new thing on the Discord.
Yeah.
Where should Nat work?
Where should Nat work? I am drinking my electrolytes.
In here?
Yeah, this is
in my basement?
Liquid IV.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
It's been making me feel better ever since my last syncope.
Yeah.
I've been trying to stay hydrated.
Right.
Yeah, it's working. I feel good.
Got to stay hydrated. That's hugely important. We're going to Mexico next week, so
no show next week?
No show next week.
All right.
Yeah, so as long as you're here, what the fuck are we doing with this show? I mean,
I like doing this show.
It's been 5 months since we did an episode, though.
Yeah.
We can't, people, I'm sure we've hemorrhaged 90% of our audience.
Yeah.
And, do we have anything left to say? I guess is what I'm wondering. I mean, in some sense, I feel like we've graduated. We've got like a master's or a PhD in recovery.
Yeah. I mean, I get a lot out of these podcasts, and if nobody listens to it, so what?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to spend some time with you.
The
that's
last
for sure.
6 months have just been so crazy. Closing the company, getting this new job. I haven't been able to focus on anything else.
Right.
And I'm aiming to try and change that with my next, because now I'm taking time to find a career, find a job. I'm not just jumping into something. And I don't want to call it quits just yet. We could shift focus a bit, or if you want.
How do we? Oh, to what? What should we shift focus on? Should we become?
It has to be natural. It has to be.
Should we become life coaches?
We could do that.
You're taking advice from Nat and me.
$100
You guys
an
are
hour.
Fucked up.
It's only $100 an hour. I'll set up Zoom meetings. You can learn from my mistakes. That's pretty much what I'm going to do.
I think when you get to a certain age, like all of a sudden you just become wiser.
Yeah, well, you live through a lot. And, I always say all of my failures add up to more education,
Right. That's right.
The more times I fail, the smarter I get. So I must be a genius.
I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, I'm not going to be around next week. And then you're going to Europe for 2 weeks. And then we're going to find ourselves at the end of August, pretty much.
So maybe we can shoot for a new show starting in September, where hopefully I'll have a regular schedule by then.
Yeah.
And it won't be this lunatic company. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I was just getting at, that's probably the night we went to dinner. I probably drove right from Levittown after being at that place till 5:30.
Well, we also went after that. We went to see Rachel Maddow. At CW at your old alma mater.
Wait, I was
Long
there.
Island University. Yes, you were there.
We went together.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, man, you are.
Yeah. Okay, I remember now.
We went together and we sat together. And
was great.
You made a friend that there was a
God.
dude sitting next to you that just wouldn't stop talking to you
I always
the whole
make friends
time.
like that. I don't
Yeah.
know why they're attracted. It happened at the AAA yesterday when we were getting our pass for the tickets. They like check you out.
Oh, TSA?
Yeah, there
That's
was
not
another
AAA. That's the auto company.
Yeah,
thing.
you know, it was at AAA.
Oh.
They had a TSA.
Oh, they did?
Situation.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I
And,
stand corrected.
Yeah, there was a guy like that just talking to me, and my kids are like, "Why is that man? Does he know you?" I'm like, "No, I just attract them." I don't know.
But that guy at Rachel Maddow was very insistent.
I got a lot. I got to know him.
Yeah, you did.
His business.
Did you swap numbers?
I did not, thankfully.
You're not going to see him again?
No, I was afraid to ask.
Ship passing in the night.
Yeah.
You're going to end up on the Craigslist misconnections.
Yeah, I think he lives in a refrigerator box. So I didn't want to continue to ask. But yeah, Rachel Maddow was great. That was fun.
Yeah, it's always good to get out. We're supposed to go to the show tonight at Jones Beach, the Outlaw Music Festival.
Oh.
Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Lucinda Williams,
Wow.
and Wilco.
Oh, that's Wilco. People,
Yeah.
you know what? Wilco's one of those bands that I've heard is so great and people love them and they're so good, but I never listened to Wilco. Like a couple of times I've put it on and it's nice, but
Yeah,
it's one of those bands.
it's kind of how I feel
Yeah.
about it.
It's like,
I don't know if we're going to make it, though. It's the weather and like
So
we got
that's
so much shit to do before we leave.
yeah.
But if I can't sell the tickets, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know.
Well, I think that about does it for today.
We have no Week in Weird this week.
No weekend. The weekend weird is us doing the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
this is going to be a warm-up comeback. So thank you very, very much for taking a listen this time. We're going to try and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my life together. At 46, I'll be turning 47 on August 14th. So
All right. Happy birthday.
Light a candle.
You're going to
for
be
me.
in London
Yep.
for your birthday?
Yeah,
Nice.
We're going to see Matilda on my birthday.
Cool. I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's a musical for kids. So,
Okay, great.
As you can see, I'm still doing things just for my kids on my birthday.
Well,
But it'll be fun. And
no resentment there, huh?
No.
Just kind of let go of that.
gotta love it.
Yeah.
But that about does it for
All right.
today.
Bye.
I know I had a great time. Did you?
Yes, I sure
We
did.
have to do the schlocky ending thing.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for listening. Visit us at middleagesrecovery.com.
No,
don't do that.
There's none of that.
Sorry.
Don't join the disc. Don't do anything.
But
Just wait.
Podbean, you can
Yeah.
get us on Podbean,
Right.
Apple Podcast, Facebook, you can still talk to us, Instagram, Spotify.
When was the last time you checked the fucking Facebook page?
A couple days ago, it came up on my thing. But tweet us at What You Twit. We're on
Oh,
X.
there's an old
It's
one.
not even
Yeah.
Twitter anymore. But, we still like 5-star reviews. So if you miss us and love us and want us to come back, the best thing is to 5-star review and, ask us on the review. Say, please, we need more. We
Yeah.
need to know you're
So
out there.
Basically insecure, so
But finally,
need validation.
the best way to help the show and help you is to share it with a friend. There's plenty of shows out there to share.
What does that look like? Hey, I know these two guys. They have a podcast. They only post every 5 months, but they're really interesting.
But there's 160 episodes of educationally
Okay.
interesting and entertaining shows.
Okay.
And there's always a chance for a future here. We haven't given up
It's
yet.
a chance.
And as we say, non proficiat perfectum.
Progress, not perfection.
See you next time.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Be good.
Bye. I wonder if that actually.